Students, in our previous class, we have seen that how various personalities, especially the gents, helped women to uplift their social condition by eradicating the practice of sati, encouraging widow remarriage, setting up schools for girls, and so on. Today, let us see how some women encouraged others to fight against various injustices that they had to face in the society. From the early 20th century, Muslim women like the Begums of Bhopal played a notable role in promoting education among women. They founded a primary school for girls at Aligarh. Next we have Begum Rokeya Shakhawat Hussain, who started schools for Muslim girls in Patna and Calcutta. She was bold enough to criticize all ideas of religious leaders of every faith, how they treated women as inferior. By the 1880s, Indian women began to enter universities. Some of them trained to be doctors, some became teachers. Many women began to write and publish their critical views on the place of women in society. Tarabai Sinde, a woman educated at home at Pune, published a book, Stri Purush Tulna, criticizing the social differences between men and women. Pandita Ramabai, a great scholar of Sanskrit, felt that Hinduism was oppressive towards women and wrote a book about the miserable views of upper caste Hindu women. She founded a widows' home at Pune to provide shelter to widows who had been treated badly by their husbands' relatives. Here, women were trained so that they could support themselves economically. By the end of the 19th century, women themselves were actively working hard for a change. They came out with books, edited magazines, founded schools and training centers, and set up women's associations. Not only that, the early 20th century, they formed political pressure groups to push through law for female suffrage, that is, the right to vote, and better health care and education for women. From 1920s, some of them joined various kinds of nationalist and socialist movements too. In the 20th century, leaders such as Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose lent their support to demands for greater equality and freedom for women. Nationalist leaders promised that there would be full suffrage for all men and women after the independence. Students, we have also seen that our Indian society was also facing the terrible effects of caste system, and some of our noted social reformers worked very hard to eradicate this caste system. For example, we have Rajaram Mohan Roy, who translated an old Buddhist text that was against the caste system. Next we have the Prarthana Samaj, which was founded by Atmaram Pandurang with an aim to make people believe in spiritual equality of all castes. So also in Bombay, the Paramhansa Mandali was founded in 1840 to work for the abolition of caste. Many of these reformers themselves belonged to the upper caste, and they themselves first violated all the restrictions which were related to food and touch. Christian missionaries too worked hard to eradicate caste system by setting up schools for tribal groups and lower caste children. At the same time, new cities were coming up. In these cities, there was great demand for labours. Labours were required for building and construction activities, so also in cleaning of cities. Poor or low caste people who were oppressed under caste system in their villages took this golden opportunity and moved out in search of jobs. In cities, there were other jobs too. For example, the army offered opportunity for Mahar community who were regarded as untouchables. Bhimrao Ambedkar's father was taught at an army school. Gradually, by the second half of the 19th century, people from within the lower caste began organizing movements against caste discrimination and demanded social equality and justice. The Satnami movement in central India, founded by a leader named Ghasidas, who came from a low caste, worked among the leather workers and organized a movement to improve their social status. Next we have in Eastern Bengal, Haridas Thakur's Machua sect worked among low caste Chandela cultivators. Haridas also questioned Brahmanical texts that supported the caste system. All these sects were founded by leaders who came from low caste and worked among them. Next we have one of the famous reformer who came from a low caste, that is Mali caste, studied in a missionary school. He attacked the Brahmins' claim that they were superior to others since they were Aryans. On the contrary, he argued that Aryans were foreigners who came from outside the subcontinent and defeated the original Indians and started treating them as inferiors or as low caste people. According to Phule, since Aryans or Brahmins were foreigners, they do not have any right on the land, and it belonged to Indians or indigenous people. Phule claimed that before Aryan rule, there existed a golden age when warrior peasants tilled the land and ruled the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways. He proposed that Shudras and Ati Shudras should unite to challenge caste discrimination. The Satya Shodhak Samaj, an association which was founded by Phule, propagated caste equality. In 1873, Phule wrote a book named Gulamgiri, meaning slavery. Some 10 years before this, the American Civil War had been fought, leading to the end of slavery in America. Phule dedicated this book to all those Americans who had fought to free slaves, thus establishing a link between the conditions of the lower caste in India and the black slaves in America. This movement for caste reform was continued in the 20th century by other great Dalit leaders like Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in Western India and E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar in the South. Ambedkar was born into a Mahar family. As a child, he suffered under caste prejudice. For example, in school, he was forced to sit outside the classroom on the ground and was not allowed to drink water from taps that upper caste children used. After finishing school, he got a fellowship to go to the US for higher studies. On his return to India in 1919, he wrote extensively about upper caste power in ever-changing society. In 1927, Ambedkar started a temple entry movement in which his Mahar caste followers participated. Brahmin priests were annoyed when the Dalits used water from the temple tank. Ambedkar led 3 such movements for temple entry between 1927 and 1935. E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, or Periyar as he was called, came from a middle-class family. He was an ascetic in his early life and had studied Sanskrit scriptures carefully. Later, he became a member of the Congress, but left it in mere disappointment when he realized that here too caste system was followed, since the sitting arrangement was made wherein the lower caste were made to sit at a distance from the upper caste. He was convinced that untouchables had to fight for their dignity. He himself founded the self-respect movement. He argued that untouchables were the true upholders of an original Tamil and Dravidian culture which had been subjugated by Brahmins. He felt that all religious authorities saw social divisions and inequality as God-given. Untouchables had to free themselves, therefore, from all religions in order to achieve social equality. He was a well-known critic of Hindu scriptures, especially the codes of Manu, the ancient lawgiver, and the Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana. He said that these texts had been used to establish the authority of Brahmins over lower castes and the domination of men over women. These thoughts did not go unchallenged. The forceful speeches, writings and movements of lower caste leaders did lead to rethinking and some self-criticism among upper caste nationalist leaders. But Orthodox Hindu society also reacted by founding Sanatan Dharma Sabhas and the Bharat Dharma Mahamandal in the north and associations like the Brahman Sabha in Bengal. The object of these associations was to uphold caste discrimination as a cornerstone of Hinduism and show how this was sanctified by scriptures. Debates and struggles over caste continued beyond the colonial period and are still going on in our times.